Nation at Cody's, and we have another very special show for you. But first, for all you people who had so much to say to me being a die-hard Cleveland Brown fan, woo, 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 go Browns, go Browns. And to show you how that goes, from my boy over there, Eric Wimberly, who had the audacity to make a vote on Who Dat Nation. How about that Who Dat Nation? And from our special guest that we had earlier in the year, Melanie Warner, who played for me, she's at Hampton now. She ought to be real quiet too, hollering about that Who Dat Nation, Who Dat Nation. How about that nation? Yeah. Browns in the house. Okay, moving right along on our show today. We're trying to make sure that we keep you updated with what we have in our show. We always have a special feature, starting us off with Rick Brown. Sherry B is supposed to be doing that part, and she's sitting there eating wings and forgot. And here she comes running around the corner, trying to make sure that she gets it up and rolling for us. And now we'll have Rick Brown, People on the Pros, legendary writer from the Lakeland Legends.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, what's up, fam? Forgive me, but I'm kind of pissed right now at the NFL. No, I'm not talking about Ray Rice or Adrian Peterson. We can do a whole show on that. I'm talking about all these personal fouls for hits that's been flagged recently. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. Did you guys see that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game on Thursday? There were so many flags flying, I thought the refs were getting paid by the penalty. The one that really got me came in the third quarter when there was a hit to the receiver's shoulder, and that was flagged for hitting a defenseless receiver. Say what? What was the safety supposed to do? Let him catch it and politely ask him to go down? Man, it's getting crazy. Listen, I understand the league's stance on safety. I applaud the efforts. But if I wanted to see a flag football game, I'll go and check out a city league game. Get it together, NFL. That's it for me. Follow me on Twitter at RickBrown91 for insights on Rick Brown.
Wow.
Back to you, Coach.
Yeah, you welcome, Rick. There you go with the City League game. But we got Billy Boy with the locker room rant. He's coming up next.
I had something I want to talk about. You know, they talk about the Big Ten football. And, you know, I'm from the SEC. I like the South. And see, the Big Ten, they been getting drilled the week before last. Man, they was 0-5, and they were losing to some schools that they really thought was kind of beneath them to play. And they kind of lost. But, you know, that's been going on for a little while now. The Big Ten been getting rolled pretty good. Even the top 20, they got two schools, and they 1-1, Ohio State and Michigan State, you know, the Spartans and Buckeyes now, you know, but they keep arguing about what the best league is. The SEC's is the best league. It just ain't nothing else close, you know. And if they gonna win in the Big Ten, they better figure out how they can get to California, Texas, and Florida to be able to recruit some of them real good athletes like everybody else come down in the South and does. But if they don't hurry up and they gonna be, the Big Ten gonna be done in. They gonna be like the Ren 10-10. They ain't gonna be winning nothing. Big Ten. You better, if you want to be around the program that's winning, you better join or be a part of the SEC. The Big Ten, they already done in. I'll catch you next week.
But I have to kind of go along there with Billy. You're talking about you got to beat in the SEC. Now, if the Big Ten really wants to be successful, they need to come to Tallahassee Lincoln High School, where Coach Yusuf Shakir has built a powerhouse, and we get ready to talk to Coach in a minute.
Casinos by Events. It's a place for all your formal wear and for your nice suits. They fit everyone, and especially the big and the tall. Casinos by Events. They fit one and all. Tell them Coach sent you. Go by Casinos by Events. Tallahassee Mall.
we're back. This is Insights. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow us everywhere. We're all over social media, but not over it quite as much as the Lincoln High School Trojans. They're everywhere. When you go to look up Lincoln High School Trojans or Lincoln Trojans, they got like 2 or 3 Facebook accounts. They got 2 or 3 Twitter accounts. They're on Instagram. They're everywhere. And when you produce the kind of athlete that Coach Shakir has come out of that program, man. And then to start off, he's from that program. He played at Lincoln High School. So this was a destination job for him to be able to come back. When I researched him and looked up all the accolades at Lincoln High School that they had even before he came when he was a player, to now, I just started flipping through the page and it runs about 2.5 pages. And just, see, he's not, I just, 2010, he was named the Tallahassee Quarterback Club Coach of the Year. 2010, Tallahassee Democrat All Big Ben Coach of the Year. 2010, Class 4A Nike Coach of the Year. They won the state championship in 2010. In 5 years that he's been at Lincoln, one of the things that's most successful is that he's had 52 players sign an athletic scholarship. That's averaging 10 kids a year. That can't be beat. And right now, I want y'all to give him another hand. This is Coach Shakir, and he's done a heck of a job at Lincoln High School. Welcome to Insights, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Now you owe me another $20 for that read on that profile I gave you.
Okay, I see it about 20 before, but I go ahead and hit you with another.
Oh, see, I like that. That's the kind of coach I like right there. Coach, tell us what it was like being able to come back home and coach. What was that like to be able to come back to Lincoln?
Well, it was kind of surreal, to be honest with you, when they gave me the call and called and asked around the X-rays. Because at that time I had left. I was defensive coordinator at Lincoln for 106. Then I left and became head coach of Gibbs High School in St. Petersburg, Florida. And so I was building a great program. I thought had some great kids, phenomenal community support, and we were on our way to having a lot of success. So it was kind of surreal. In that moment, I was like, I kind of thought about it for a second, like, well, you know, I'm really involved in what we're doing here, but there's no place like home, and just to be at one of the top programs in the country, really be back home, with people really help build you and help make you who you are, and to really be able to give back is just immeasurable to me.
What are some of the advantages, Coach, in the fact that you're coming back home, the people at Lincoln High School knew you, some of the parents knew you? How does that help you in terms of handling the guys on the team and things like that?
It really helps a lot, especially in high school, because a lot of the kids, especially that I'm coaching now, a lot of the kids, especially some of the young kids, I may have went to school with their parents, or I know some of their family members. I went to school with some of their older sisters and brothers, so I can be very frank with them. I don't really have to be too politically correct too many times. And then it helps also being at home that if you know a kid may be going through something, you can call a cousin or uncle or somebody that's mentored them or an aunt that you know you can get you support that if they may be trying to go a different direction, or if you just need a little bit of extra help with the kid, and you know who to reach and how to kind of who's the pulse of that individual.
How does that help, Coach? Like all of the events and stuff, but how does some of the things you've been through in your own personal life been able to reach out and help kids know that, you know, it's okay, you're going to make it through, you know?
Well, I think the main thing is hard work. Once a young man, especially dealing with a young man, when a young man knows how to sweat, how to work it, how to not make excuses for himself, I think he understands. And I think also with that, he understands that what he has done has determined his outcome, not anybody else. I think once a kid, a young man understands that, and he determines his outcome, it's just that self-motivation, that self-empowerment of who you are, and not letting that control go to anyone else. I think when a young man understands that, and that's the one thing I try to give that I learned as a young man and instill inside of them.
Okay, Coach, I'm going to change gears a little bit. When you came up, you heard us kind of picking at the Big Ten. When he came up, first thing he said was, I was in the Big Ten. You know, what is it like to go that far away from home to Wisconsin from Florida? I mean,
it's different. You grow up real fast. It's not no mama coming home on the weekends or nothing. So you really have to mature and grow. Have to learn how to do things for yourself. So it's a great experience. And the academic experience was just phenomenal. The University of one of the top academic institutions in the country. So for me, what I wanted to go study was on top of the country. And that was really the reason behind why I chose to go so far, was that, and it just was a great experience for me to get away from what I knew, my comfort zone. It really helped me grow as a young man, as an individual, and it helped me understand that wherever you go, you can make it. You just have to, as long as you keep holding your core values and what builds you, well, the people that is still inside of you, where you're from, if you stay true to those things, you have a chance to be successful in life.
Well, you have a quote that kind of goes along with that. Good is the enemy of great.
Yes.
Explain that to the listening audience a little bit about you and that statement, perhaps where it came from, what it means to the guys who play in Lincoln High School.
But it came from Jim Collins wrote a book, Good about, they studied 20 Fortune 500 companies that grew over a 20-year period. They studied all the companies that grew, Fortune 500, because those top companies in the world. And they want to show not only not about maintaining, but growth. How do you maintain and how do you grow on success? And so after reading that book, because I personally feel like running a team is really like running a corporation, because people make the team, and that team is made up of so many different entities, just like a large business. And you want it to grow, you want it to prosper. If you want to be really successful, you want to be the best of the best. So I do a lot of business, organization, business reading behind success in those books. So the main component to that book is always, is you talk about a flywheel, like a people, you have the core of it, and the core always has to be true. And great companies add to that, just like spokes on the wheel, they add to it. They don't change that core of what it is. And so for us, we want to stay true to the core of who we are year in and year out, and always build on those fundamentals and those values, and understand that good is in there great, because people become very comfortable. People become complacent. But once excellence is reached, that becomes the standard. And so for them to understand that, they have to buy in to understand that good is not good. I mean, you have to be great. You have to go beyond that. You just can't be satisfied with just doing just enough. You want to be great at what you do. You want to separate yourself and to take yourself into your own stratosphere as an individual. And once you do that as an individual, then the group grows from there, because the group is only as strong as the individual.
And you wonder why Lincoln High is so successful. And that is core values that they get from the coach. And this night we'll be taking a break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, good. 7:20, who's gonna have it?
We started the game actually as to develop a fundraising mechanism to help us meet the scholarship commitments that we made to the students in Project Success. Project Success being the 100 Black Men of Atlanta's flagship charity, and it is a post-secondary preparation tuition assistance program where we're literally helping young people from challenged communities graduate high school, and then we pay for their post-secondary education expenses. And we made a commitment that was a multi-million-dollar commitment to a number of students in the early days of the organization, and as a result, the Atlanta Football Classic was launched to help us meet that commitment.
Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. All right, 6:40, here we go, in 4, 3, 2.
And this is Mickey Clayton along with our guest, Coach Yusuf Shakir. And he's been able to give you some experience and insight in terms of what his motto means and the core values that he instills in his players. And Coach, what is it about Lincoln High School that makes it so special?
Well, I firmly believe it's the kids and the parents and the community, because the school is more just than about bricks. It's about the students that walk the halls and that community that they come from. That's what makes it so special. Just those kids and the family support. And we just have phenomenal booster club, phenomenal parenting, and that alone instills good values in kids. And when you have that, you have those kids striving for success. You have those parents who work hard, and so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So So what we work with comes from those great parents. So I think that's what really makes us special is our student body and the communities that they come from. And of course our teachers and our faculty that just love and support. And we have a phenomenal principal who supports not only, not school just support just academics, but there's so much going into a school. The school is a community. The community is an environment. You have to foster every area of that community for it to be really successful. And he does a phenomenal job. Dr. Allen Burch does a phenomenal job of fostering every instance, like our math club, our Black History Brain was on the top of the country. All our band travels all across the country. So there's so many different entities that make up our school that are successful, and all of those groups get those same academic. It's just, when you have excellence, you can't have excellence in one area and then not feed the other areas. Because you can't feed one part of the body and expect the body to develop. So it's just like that. Your mind, your body, and soul, you have to feed all three. And I think that Lincoln does a great job of feeding all those components.
Okay, I agree with that. Now tell me something else, Coach. Tell us a story about a kid. You have to give us his name. Tell us about a story about a kid that really kind of pulls at your heartstrings, that you really wanted to help, but for some reason he just slipped through your fingers and had all the potential in the world. But you just tell us. Say you probably got several of them, but it's always one or two to kind of think about. So tell us about the story of this kid.
It is. A lot of people always think you always remember the kids who had a success. You always remember the kids that could have made it, that could have had that potential, but kids that decided to stop playing. Those kids really stick out to you more, even more than sometimes those kids who really make it, because you just see so much opportunity. That was one kid we had who was highly successful, who had opportunity to go on to the next level. They ended up getting into some trouble. They really never kind of understood the bigger picture. A lot of times we have kids who don't understand that bigger picture. A lot of times they haven't been exposed to a lot. So you try to expose them to as many things as you can. That's why in the summers we travel. We take our kids every weekend in July. We take our kids to a different school throughout the country, different places. We take them out of state at least twice. We go to 2 in-state schools every year, just to try to show them it's something bigger than what you've been around, something bigger than what you've been exposed to. But sometimes some kids they fall into that. It's a component about being kind of scared of achieving something that some other people haven't before, and sometimes that fear comes from inside of what the people that surround them, because they've never been to any place else. And it was exciting to me as a young coach when I first experienced that. Some family members didn't want the kid to kind of leave and go. I was like, he has a chance to do something nobody's ever done, but they had never experienced that. And so it's kind of a fear of the unknown, fear of what's new and what's different. And I think that was the thing that kind of just crippled him with really exposing and doing something different. But we live and learn in life, and high school is a small part of life, and hopefully it's the second component of his life. He can continue to work and to better himself, and we still working with him. Even though he's gone on, we still working with him. Because life is a long time. Life isn't just high school or college. And
well, we hope it's a long time.
Oh yeah, it is. I hope so. If you make the right choices, it is. But really just have a kid understand that it's a long time. We got to keep working, keep focused.
But tell us, Coach, what a recruiter or coach might have said to you, or what can they say to you that just really turn you off in the recruiter?
Well, nothing ever can really turn me off because of the fact that you got to understand that when you're dealing with colleges and sometimes even professional pro scouts, it's a business first, and they're looking at it as a business component.
Professional pro scouts. You got some of the pro scouts that come and look at some of your kids?
Every kid that comes through Lincoln, any kid that looked at by the NFL, they do a background check, background report, and they come in and they don't go to high schools, they go to elementary and middle schools, especially if they're going to invest millions of dollars inside of you.
I'm just saying, so a kid that's at, we'll just say, Florida State, that they're really interested in, they go all the way back to high school and middle school.
They send a report, they send a questionnaire about everything they ask for kids, discipline report and everything. My school, so it tracks them the whole way.
Wow. Well, this has is Insights, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with Coach, and we're going to wrap it up in the last segment. Thanks for being with us now, so we'll be right back.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Before I get started, I want to congratulate you on an outstanding show. This is something that's certainly much needed in the sports platform, and I'm delighted that you've asked us to be a part of your guests as the program evolves. So again, thank you for having us.
In 4, 3, 2.
Thank you, and we're back on Insights. And one of the things I wanted to ask Coach before he left, we're talking about the SEC, the Big Ten, and I'm going to put him on the spot. Is there a conference you prefer?
Nah, not right. I love any of them that give my kids scholarships.
That's a good answer there. Any of them give your kids a scholarship. Now, we have a segment that we do in closing that we do with each one of our guest coaches, and it's called Conversation with Myself.
Okay.
And in that conversation with yourself, I want you to go back, talk to yourself at 8 or 9 years old, take everything that you know now, and sit there and talk to little Yusuf and tell him what he needs to do to prepare himself for the days ahead, because you already know what those days ahead are.
Yeah.
So take a few minutes and give him some time. I imagine, was he a quiet kind of guy then?
No. I was the kind of kid, my mom used to get a lot of calls from school. So I was a very active kid. My grandmother used to say I was very mischievous. So I used to want to get into anything and everything and just try to want to see how I experience. If you told me no, I was going to do it anyway because I want to know why you were telling me no.
Oh, no, that means nothing to you.
Not really. It wasn't that I was trying to be defiant about it. I just wanted to know why I shouldn't do it. I just want to be inquisitive.
Well, Coach, these words to yourself might have helped you. So talk to yourself. Look at the camera and tell Lil Yusuf.
Well, if I go back and talk to myself and tell myself one thing is you're going to have a lot of people that come into your life, and some are going to be a little bit more special than others. Appreciate those people very much. That's probably the main thing I'm going to tell myself.
Now, everything he's done on this show has been long-winded. He hadn't given us a short answer except for what his name was. And then when he talked to himself, he's like, man, I look good, listen, and call it a day.
That's it.
Well, Coach, before we close off, tell people where they can follow your program at on Twitter, Facebook, and you might want to pick the top 1 or 2. I know they got so many handles on there. But let them know how to keep up with the Lincoln High School Trojans.
Yes, on Facebook, keep up with us as Lincoln High School Football. And then our official Twitter account is 2014_Lincoln_FB. That's our official Twitter account. So those are the 2 basic ways they keep up with us more than anything else. And of course, there are a bunch of Instagram accounts. Kids make pop-up new ones all the time. The Twitter account is really the official heart of the Lincoln Trojans football team.
But you did hear him say official. They got like 6 unofficial, because I didn't know about that Twitter account he just gave. But this is Insights. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back next week with John Grant, CEO of the 100 Black Men over Atlanta Classic.
Good.
Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSIIGHTS.com.
Insights is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. The comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent their independent thoughts and representation.